Welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a while, and that is because I moved into a new house, which is very exciting. Painting the walls of the new house was unfortunately the only painting I did in the past months. But now that I've settled down a little, it is finally time to start decorating my very own art studio in the attic of the house. So this is my new, but also very old desk. This desk belonged to my boyfriend's grandfather, and I thought it was perfect for my art studio compared to the smaller one I had before. One thing I've wanted for so long was this new easel, which I never could buy because the ceilings were way too low in my previous apartment. I always used my table easel instead, so I'm definitely planning to create a bigger painting in my next video. I'm filling up the rest of the room with furniture from my old living room. This way I can have my very own cozy space to sit whenever I need a break from painting. I did have some trouble deciding what's the best setup for all of my furniture, but sometimes you just have to start somewhere in order to find out if you like it. So the last painting I made was in my old home, right before we received the news that we got a new house. I made a trip to my favorite thrift store and I found this teacup. I immediately knew I wanted to paint it, so I made a photo of it in my sunny windowsill and used that as a reference for my new painting. When I'm looking back on my art journey that started in this little corner, I remember how I wanted to find my art style as soon as possible. I thought if only I could create 10 beautiful pieces in the same style, I would feel so proud showing it and maybe even dare to try to sell it. I wanted to know the secret how I could find my art style. So I bought the biggest panels I could get my hands on, but actually failed immensely. Today, I'm happy to say that I'm glad that my plan didn't work out as I thought. I'm not desperately trying to find my art style anymore, and I'm not pinning myself down on one particular art style or subject. Staying true to yourself can be challenging, but it's worth the trip getting to know where your heart is. I talk a lot about how I let myself get inspired at the moment I'm starting a new project, but it's something I want to encourage other people with. Try as many things as you like and keep creating different subjects that you love at that moment in your life.
Daar helemaal achterin.
After my long break away from painting, it was time to get started in my new art room. Being away from painting for so long felt very weird. I was afraid that I completely forgot how to paint and actually postponed with beginning again. I was definitely stiff, but I felt very good about myself after I finally started again. Being away from painting for so long brought back my perspective on why I actually wanted to paint and devote my free time to create art. The last couple of months were very turbulent and I'm very sensitive when it comes to big changes in my life. I was so busy with the new house and very disconnected from anything art related. The moment I felt like I was ready to get back into painting was on a morning when I felt very low about myself that came to a point where I just wanted to create something to keep my mind busy. Creating art is not only something I simply enjoy, but it can also be therapeutic for me. I think for now I set a pretty good base for my new art studio. Coming from a much smaller place, it's definitely hard for me to make this room cozy, and I still have a lot of plans for this room for the future. But I will have to make these changes over time in my next videos to come. But the most important thing, I will keep making paintings.